Nobody saw this coming. Not the father, not the daughters, and definitely not the thousands of fans who were about to witness one of the most unexpected and heartwarming moments of Bad Bunny's entire European tour. This is the kind of story that reminds you why music hits different when it comes from a real place, and why some artists carry something bigger than just talent. This is the story of two little girls, a desperate father, and the moment Bad Bunny's team stopped everything and said, you know what? These kids deserve to be here. Welcome to Pop Showroom, where we bring you the stories behind the headlines. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button right now because this story goes deeper than anything you've seen in the mainstream media. Let's go back to the beginning, because the story does not start at the concert. It starts way before that, in the kind of moment every parent knows too well. You have a child who is absolutely obsessed with an artist. Not just a fan, we are talking full-blown devotion, the kind where they know every single lyric, every ad-lib, every breath on the track. These two girls were living and breathing Bad Bunny. His music was playing in their house every single day. They were singing his songs in the mirror, dancing in the living room, memorizing every word like it was homework they actually wanted to do. And when the news dropped that Bad Bunny was bringing his tour to Madrid, those girls lost their minds. This was not just a concert. For them, this was the biggest moment of their young lives. So the father did what any good parent does. He tried to make it happen. He looked into tickets, he looked into the venue, and then he hit the wall that broke a lot of hearts that week. The concert was tied to a residency called Casita, and because of the nature of the event, minors were not allowed inside. The rules were clear. No exceptions. The daughters were too young to get in, and just like that, the dream looked dead. Most people would have stopped right there. Most people would have sat the kids down and explained that sometimes life does not work out the way you want it to. But this father was not most people. Instead of giving up, he decided to fight for it. Not with lawyers or complaints, but with something way more powerful. He let his daughters speak for themselves. He helped them launch a campaign, a real one, aimed directly at Bad Bunny and his team, explaining who they were, how much his music meant to them, and why they deserved a chance to be there. Now think about that for a second. These are little girls, not adults with PR teams or social media managers, just two kids who loved an artist deeply enough to actually stand up and say so publicly. They made their case with the kind of honesty that only children can pull off, the kind that cuts right through the noise because it is 100% real, and the internet felt it. People were sharing the campaign, comments were pouring in, other fans started amplifying the message, tagging the official accounts, pushing the story further. Social media does not always work like this. Most of the time, things get lost in the feed, but every once in a while, something genuine breaks through, and this was one of those times. The energy around these two girls and their father was building, and somewhere inside the Bad Bunny camp, somebody was paying attention. Now here's where the story takes a turn that nobody expected. The official account of Bad Bunny's tour posted a video, not just any video, a video of one of the daughters singing Turista, one of the most emotionally loaded songs on the record. And she wasn't just singing it, she was feeling it. Every word coming out of her mouth with the kind of conviction that makes grown people stop and stare. The video hit different because it wasn't staged, it wasn't polished, it was just a little girl singing a song she loved with everything she had. The comments section exploded. People were not ready for it. Even fans who had never heard of this story before were suddenly completely invested. Who is this child? What happens next? Does she get in? What happened next was something that the father will probably spend the rest of his life talking about. Bad Bunny's team reached out, directly, no middleman, no vague promise. They reached out and they made it official. The father and both of his daughters were being given VIP access to the concert in Madrid that very night. Not regular tickets, VIP access, the whole experience, the kind of thing that money alone cannot always buy, the kind of access that puts you close enough to feel the bass in your chest and see the sweat on the performer's face. These two little girls who had been told they couldn't enter were now walking in like they owned the place. Let that sink in for a moment. They went from being turned away at the door to being welcomed in through the VIP entrance, all because they refused to accept no as the final answer, all because a father believed his daughters were worth fighting for, all because those girls had the courage to put their love out into the world without embarrassment, without holding back, without caring what anyone thought. That kind of authenticity is rare at any age. In children, it's electric. When they arrived at the venue that night, you have to imagine what it felt like. The lights, the crowd, the energy that only a Bad Bunny concert can generate. Madrid was packed. The fans were ready. The atmosphere was the kind that gets inside your skin and makes your heart beat faster just from standing in it. And right there in the middle of all that, two little girls were experiencing it for the very first time. Not from the back, not from the cheap seats, but from the front, from the VIP section, with full access to everything. Their faces must have said it all, that pure, unfiltered joy that children carry before the world teaches them to hold it back. But the real story is not just about tickets. The real story is about what this moment represents for everyone watching from the outside. Because in a world where fame can make artists feel untouchable, where the distance between a superstar and their fans can feel like a canyon, something like this shrinks that gap completely. Bad Bunny did not have to do this. His team did not have to look at that campaign and decide to respond. They could have let it pass like 1,000 other things that get tagged and forgotten. But they didn't. They saw two little girls who genuinely loved the music, who were not trying to game the system or get clout, who just wanted to be in the room where it happened, and they said yes. That matters. It matters because it tells a story about what kind of artist Bad Bunny actually is when the cameras aren't on him, when nobody's watching, when there's nothing to gain from the gesture except the satisfaction of knowing you made two kids' lives better for one night. It says something about character. Not the character built for press releases and interviews, but the real kind that shows up in quiet decisions made by the people around you. There's also something powerful about what the daughters showed the world. Children today are growing up in a space where social media is constantly telling them to perform, to filter, to pretend. But these girls did the opposite. They were completely themselves. They made a campaign out of pure love. They sang a song on video not because they were trying to go viral, but because that song lived inside them. And the universe responded to that realness in a way that no strategy session could have planned. They were authentic, and authenticity opened the door that money could not. The father in this story deserves his moment too, because being a parent is more than providing the basics. It's about showing your kids that their dreams are worth chasing, that giving up is not always the answer, that sometimes you fight for the small things because the small things are actually the big things. That father could have said the rules are the rules and moved on. Instead, he stood next to his daughters and helped them build something out of their disappointment. He turned a no into a campaign. He turned rejection into a story. And now that story is being told all over the internet in all kinds of languages because it touched something universal. By the end of that night in Madrid, those two girls had lived something that most people only dream about. They stood in that venue, heard those songs live, felt that crowd move around them, and knew that someone in Bad Bunny's world had seen them and chosen to do something kind. That is a memory that does not fade. That is the kind of night that shapes who you become, the kind of story you tell your own children one day. So, the next time somebody tells you that you are too small to be heard, too young to matter, too late to change the outcome, remember two little girls in Madrid who launched a campaign with nothing but love and ended up front row. Remember a father who refused to let no be the last word. And remember that sometimes if you are real enough and loud enough and brave enough, the world actually listens. I would really appreciate your insights on this matter, so feel free to share your views in the comments. Additionally, remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications to keep up with this story.